Hey internet friends, last night American TikTok users received this alert on their phones, stating that US lawmakers had banned the app, but TikTok, owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company, was hopeful that President Trump would work to reinstate the app. The TikTok ban is more impactful than a lot of folks understand. With around 150 million users in the United States, and the app serves as a platform where small businesses can go viral and thrive. The ban will put 7 million Americans out of work, cutting $24 billion a year from the economy. And while U.S. lawmakers claim that the ban is about national security, in my opinion, they're being very deceptive, which is the understatement of all understatements. So the official reason for the TikTok ban can be boiled down to the following 3 reasons. First, U.S. politicians say they're concerned about data privacy because TikTok is owned by ByteDance, which is a Chinese company. So they're saying that ByteDance is probably sharing all this data with the Chinese government, making TikTok a spy app for the Chinese government. Okay, every app on your phone spies on you, and there are plenty of Chinese apps available in the US besides TikTok, but okay. For this reason, they claim it's a matter of national security to shut the app down. Second, because US politicians can't control the parameters of what is shown on the app, they fear the app will spread propaganda that goes against US political interests, affecting elections or swaying public opinion. Thirdly, the compromise for keeping TikTok online was a forced sale. The US government said ByteDance must sell TikTok to an American company or TikTok would be banned. Since the app wasn't sold, it got banned.
I do believe that banning a social media app like TikTok is a violation of the First Amendment. 170 million Americans express themselves on TikTok on a daily basis, and it's just wrong for the government to ban it. Most of the reasons the government banned it were based on accusations, not proof.
Why am I joining TikTok just as the government ban begins? Because I don't like being told what to do. I don't like being told what I can think or what I can say. The courts may think there's an exemption to the First Amendment. I don't. I joined TikTok today as a form of civil disobedience. To the 170 million Americans who use TikTok, don't give up, don't give in, resist.
Every right that the government has ever taken away from citizens was removed under the pretense of national security when Congress gives Joe Biden the power to remove an app from your cell phone. Ironically, Joe Biden himself just joined TikTok. People love TikTok. It's the digital public square. If there are security concerns in the tech backend, let's address them there. But let's never reduce Americans' ability to freely exchange ideas.
A couple of politicians and lawmakers got on social media and claimed that this was a freedom of speech issue with this ban, and sure, it is. But you know me, I can't ignore the sense that actually we're just constantly lied to. And actually, our bought and paid for politicians care more about controlling public discourse and public opinion over American prosperity because they're willing to put 7 million businesses out of work. And this is evident to me when you look at things like this New York Post article from June 20th, 2024, which details how Chinese companies have purchased farmland near 19 U.S. military bases. And the article interviews folks like retired Brigadier General Robert S. Spalding III and former Blackwater contractor Morgan Lorette, who warned that these acquisitions could or would facilitate espionage by the Communist Chinese Party, and specifically through monitoring these day-to-day military activities. I don't know, that seems like a real threat to national security, does it not? I mean, an open border seems like a real threat to national security, does it not? But do our politicians in Washington, D.C. care about these issues? They don't, internet friends. They don't. The Chi-Coms and the Chinese boogeyman is such an effective tool to usher in more top-down control, especially in the digital space. They use this boogeyman when it suits them and ignore it when it doesn't. After all, decades and decades ago, China got the worldwide manufacturing deals through contracts with the whole world, including the United States. Do you really think that if lawmakers were terrified of the Chinese, they'd give them those contracts to be the sweatshop of the world, boosting China's economy and leverage on the world stage? I suspect this ban is multifaceted, as most matters are. So I can't say it's solely one issue or another, but in an article from the Jewish-owned Forward publication, the author discusses how the push to ban TikTok in the US might be linked to concerns over pro-Palestinian content, which has overshadowed pro-Israel posts on the platform. suggesting that TikTok's algorithm might be biased towards pro-Palestinian narratives, although TikTok has consistently denied these claims. So the Forward is saying that the ban might be an attempt to curb pro-Palestinian sentiment among the younger audiences in the U.S. And they're celebrating this feat. I also remember times on TikTok where Hitler's speeches were translated in English by AI. And what he actually said in those speeches, the content of those speeches was, well, it was very surprising and not at all what we were told in history class. The same publication, The Forward, has written article after article about anti-Semitism on TikTok, and it's made calls to have such a thing censored. While the Israel-Hamas war has heated up, Hadassah, a Zionist women's group, and the Anti-Defamation League lobbied on the TikTok ban proposal, which I say just to demonstrate that foreign interests have their tendrils wrapped around Washington, D.C. politicians, who put foreign interests first and American interests last.
Everybody but me has an AIPAC person.
What's that mean, an AIPAC person?
It's like your babysitter, your AIPAC babysitter, who is always talking to you for AIPAC. And
Every member has something like this?
that's how it works on the Republican side. And when they come to DC, you go have lunch with them.
So who is the approved master of this Chinese spy app? Who will end up buying it? Which CIA shadow company will In-Q-Tel style buy up the app and save the day? Instead of a CCP app, we'll have an NSA app. Aren't you happy? There are some frontrunners, and I think Mark Zuckerberg's rebrand is part of this effort to get Americans to believe that these CIA actors have their best interests in free speech at heart, when they really don't. They couldn't care less. Facebook, or Meta, the predecessor to DARPA's LifeLog project, spent a lot of money lobbying in 2024. Especially during the period when Congress was debating legislation that may outlaw TikTok. Although it was not specifically linked to the TikTok ban in public reports, Meta spent a record $7.6 million on lobbying at the beginning of 2024. Nonetheless, the timing and the established competitive dynamics between TikTok and Meta could imply that Meta may have been subtly aiding initiatives to limit TikTok's market dominance in the United States. And keep in mind, the technocrats like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg will attend President Donald Trump's inauguration tomorrow, having a prominent spot at the ceremony, seated together on the platform with other notable guests, including Trump's cabinet nominees and elected officials, blurring the lines between billionaires and CIA actors, thespians, and government. Even more curious, Shao Chu, the CEO of TikTok, is set to attend the inauguration and will be seated amongst the technocrats as well. So if you haven't seen my video that I put out about the technocracy this week, check it out. But wait, just this morning, President Trump announced that he will be signing an executive order to reinstate TikTok on Monday. And what better way to get the younger generation on your side? Give them their bread and circuses back. This will surely win their favor. It's very smart, and the timing is very strategic. What do you think, internet friends? I always look forward to your comments. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing to my channel, for supporting my channel on Patreon, and for buying my book, The Deep State Encyclopedia. Bye!